this up? Yeah, this is going to be an acclamation. Hello, everybody, as I figure out the lighting situation once again. Particularly unhinged there. Hello, and welcome to the Roach Crossing Wiggle, May 11th, 2023. This will be the shortest Roach Wiggle ever, as I am mid auction order packing and have been doing that pretty much nonstop all week, so long as my body hasn't been able to hold together. Hello, Duchess Venom, Jojo Macro Jr. I'm sure we'll be joined by a couple of other colorful characters soon enough. But yes, so the whatever the bacterial illness I have has potentially spread through a couple of people that I know, and don't take that the wrong way. I had a get together 2 Saturdays ago, and it seems like everybody else has been feeling the fallout, and then I had whatever from the stress and weird sleep schedule and stuff seemed to have come back. So a couple of days ago I was in the lowest gear possible. I was still packing stuff, and then now today I'm feeling a lot better. I have my lovely girlfriend Angela over helping to keep things running smoothly, as I do nothing but pack 24/7, or as close to 24/7 as you can get. Altered Pants, hello. Tennyson, hello. Magnificent Animals, hello. Alan, hello. Josh Suds, hello. Josh, this is another thing. If anybody here is waiting for emails from the auction, I have not even barely had time to send any updates to anybody on things that were sent, or if there were anything that was missing in the boxes. Josh, what happened with yours was that the Pachydesmus that I was going to send, the wild caught ones, ended up they were in poor condition or dead, the wild caught ones. So I went ahead and sent you all the captive bred ones. So I hope that you enjoy that. I hope it's an acceptable substitution. There are some other situations like that, and at this point I've kind of just resigned myself to going through at the end of shipping the bulk of stuff out and playing catch up on things. My animals, yours was another situation. So the blackberry that I feed, the blackberry and whatnot, eating stick bugs. This is the second year this has happened, but after it emerges, the patch, certain parts of it will look completely fine. And then what will happen is there's a blight that infests the root stock, and it gets up into the leaves. And I think it's probably what happens is when we go from really warm to really cold to really warm, it makes the plant susceptible to that. And so what happened was we were in the 60s, 70s for, I don't know, maybe like a week, 10 days, and we went back down into the 40s and lower for a couple of weeks, and then the temperature went back up again. And the bramble succumbed to that rust stuff. And once it infects the leaves, and it's very difficult to tell in the young leaves if they're infected right now. If I go out there and look, the infected bramble is it's like shriveled and only like halfway out of the ground, versus all the healthy stock is like, fully up and leafed out. And what happened was the section that I fed the Ecstatosoma, the bramble from, was infected with the rust, and they all died basically. So I'm working on getting more. Your options as of current are: I can refund you for the Ecstatosoma. I can give you double the cost that they were at the auction in credit on the website, or if there's something else that you want, I can send that along, free shipping and all that stuff, of course, too. But yeah, it sucks, and it's funny because, well, it's not funny, but it's the real MVPs here have been these Megaphasma, which of course feed on red cedar, and there are a series of things that can affect red cedar, like there's the cedar apple gall and stuff like that, but it's not necessarily it's not a what's the word I'm looking for? Systemic illness. That's more localized when they get those galls. But my animals, I know 2 people who are working with the Ecstatosoma still. Again, stay in contact, and actually I'm going to be seeing one of them on Saturday, so I'm going to see if I can get some more and either get them out to you or see if they can get me on the list if there aren't any available yet. But yeah, this happened last spring too, with my uricantha, and there's something else that they affected too. I wish I had used the dewberries, which is what I use for my phyllium, because I only have a handful of phyllium nymphs. But the dewberry does not seem to get this. It seems to be in this area. It's a eastern black raspberry, and there's another eastern black raspberry, Rubus occidentalis, and eastern blackberry, two wild species. Rubus pennsylvanicus, I think I have to, or eleginiensis. I actually haven't keyed out the ones in the back, but the patch was there beforehand and nobody planted. They're not. It's definitely not a horticultural version. Alan, I'm not out of town on Saturday. I'm going to be at the expo at the where you and Kai where we were before. Tennyson, yes, that's right. I need to get you your shipping tracking information. Give me one moment here, and I'll send it along. To turn my head because all these shipping label things are all sideways. And I can answer your texted questions here in a second as well. 5036 9930 843430. Okay. All right. So you were asking some things about Cappuccina care and Bisanulata care. Honestly, I feel like all the Gyna and the Bisanulata, Cappuccina, Sculpturata, Centurio group all probably have the same husbandry. What I grow more suspicious of over time is that, well, for sure, Cappuccina and Sculpturata and Bisanula, etc., they aren't very cold tolerant. But, Alan, I'll be home after the expo, though. So if you are coming over, you can come by then. On Saturday, I'll also be home at least a little bit on Sunday, but it's Mother's Day, so I'm going over to my parents too. What was I going to say? Anyway, what I feel like the big thing with Gynar is the cold temperature. They also, like pretty much any other roach, they can go into death spirals if they aren't given proper food or care for some period of time, and it's very difficult to pull them out of that. And I also am suspicious that Cappuccina, Bisanulata, and Alan and I have talked about this before too, that they might be semiparous, where they only reproduce once in their adult life. It's possible, or because of the ridiculous size of their ooths, it's very easy for something to go wrong when they're extruding them and pulling them back into their bodies, and that basically damage to the ooth or malformation of the ooth could prevent them from properly reproducing again. So I've been making sure that they have lots of space for the females to crawl up onto and make their ooths. And I suspect that Lyrida and Caphorum probably have some adaptation that they don't need to do that for whatever reason. I think their ooths are a little bit smaller than the others. So I would just advise having a good amount of space when you get adults for them to, for the females to extrude their ooths on, whether it's the sides of the enclosure or bark and whatnot within the enclosure. Because right now, Cappuccino are doing incredible for me, and although I've been careful to make sure they always have food, I'm not even giving them heat anymore. Actually, they're just at bug room temperature, which is anywhere from, like, this number changes all the time. What I tell people, it's anywhere from like 70 to 85, basically, depending on the time of year and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, that's my thoughts on by saying none of my Gyna have heat right now. I actually put the Sculpturata on heat because I wanted to get better production out of them, because the colony has taken. Here we go, guys, with the curse of Gyna at Roach Crossing. So I was kindly given some Lyrida from the original stock that I isolated it's from Oren stock. Oren was isolating yellow. He hadn't gotten it going perfectly. And Satchel still had stock from that way back when. They were throwing some normals and some yellow, so I collected some yellow adults from there, and I set them up, and I've got a bunch of a bunch of nymphs from them right now, and so they're doing really well. So all I'll do is when they get big enough, I'll just pull subadult males and subadult females, keep them separate, put them together, and bam, I'll have another yellow strain. And I'll call them the same as before. They'll just be yellow, just like because it's the same stock. It's orange stock. It's just been isolated with Satchel for a decade now, and so I'll just re isolate the yellow from that stock again, so we have the supposedly good consistent yellow line again. So those are doing fine. But now my Sculpturata, there were a bunch of adults that died and were eaten by their conspecifics when I last checked on them, and so now they're kind of on the back burner, and I'm actually kind of regretting, kind of wishing that I was doing so well with the yellow Lyrida, because now it's like, well, I didn't mean for the Sculpturata to take the hit here. So, but I think they'll be fine. There's a good number of adults and large nymphs, and yeah, I have them in a place where I can keep a better eye on them and with some more heat. So we'll see how that goes. Altered Pants has some care questions. Tips for caring for domesticables from the cabin in Alabama, also for book lice. It was cornmeal that works for them. For the domestids, what I've been doing for these weird miscellaneous household domestids I've been receiving is I've been putting them in I don't have any of them here, the large Gordon Food Service Store Tupperware food storage containers, which are it's like a plastic soup crock thing, basically. And I drill an inch ventilation port and put a brass micro screen on it on somewhere on the side up near the top. And I put the bottom, I put all dog food, and I used popcorn before. They seemed to kind of like it, but now they've kind of, at least in one of the species containers, they've kind of stopped eating it. So I just put dog food. And then I put a paper towel in, just regular old paper towel, kind of folded up with some surface area. And then I'll pre-kill roaches and other bugs, and I'll sort of rip them up a bit and put them on top of the paper towel. And the larvae, especially the larger ones, seem to really like that, so they'll go up and hollow that out. And it kind of keeps them dry, and it stops them from soiling the dog food, which I know they're also eating, but it gives them a good diversity of stuff. And I do that maybe I just add a new dead thing once every 1 to 2 months. So it's not like it's a very intensive thing per se. But that's my strategy for those. And a lot of them, they tend to pupate. I don't know where they pupate. Actually, I don't think I've come across a pupil cell in any of those, but regardless, so that's what I do. And the species that TJ sent me, I should bring this up, is actually very gorgeous. It's larger than I don't think it's a Trogoderma. It's larger than maybe 2 to 3 times the size of the Trogoderma. It's absolutely gorgeous, ornate colors. I'm sure TJ's gotten a tentative idea on it by now. But the beetle guy says, "Hey everyone, love the beard, Aragorn." Oh my gosh, this is how you know I've been busy. Is I haven't found the time to shave. I usually shave, I shower, I take the boy out before the live stream, and I've just been maximizing as much time as I physically can packing, and it's going well. I have 10 more boxes that need to be in the mail by tomorrow, and then we're kind of on to a lot of the people who are kind of waiting for stuff on the auction. There were some things the Dorcas didn't leave their pupil cells. I was waiting forever for that. And then this weekend, I finally found a couple of them crawling on the surface. It's okay, here we go. And the rainbow stags are all still pupy. And I'm just okay. Again, I just have to sit on my hands and wait. There's another thing with beetles that's the good and the bad of beetle keeping is you have to do a lot of work in one chunk. You set up a bunch of larvae, you set up a breeding bin, you pull all the larvae or whatever you end up doing. So it's very large chunks of work. But then there's periods of time where you kind of, wow, you definitely do not look flattering in that light. There we go. It's a little bit better. But then there's periods of time where you're doing nothing, and it's a jumping spider or a beetle on the outside there. I think it's a jumping spider. Okay. And there's periods of time where you're just kind of like bored out of your mind waiting and you're just being impatient. And that's what these rainbow stags are at right now. And that's kind of where I'm at with what else has kind of been annoying me? The Dorcas. I mean, I was just waiting for the adults to leave their cells. But there's something else. What else is kind of annoying? Grapevine beetles. I'm getting a couple of my localities closing right now, and it's kind of staggered. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Chrysina gloriosa, I'm waiting for those to mature too. I think they're going to be behind the Pellinota, but not by too much. So yeah, but a lot of the orders are coming, or it's huge ones like our good friend Zen Monkey's gigantic order. Fortunately, he is an extremely patient human being, and so that's going to be probably a whole 12-hour packing session in itself, and that's probably going to be in like 2 weeks-ish. So Altered Pants asked about the Platymeris feed. I try to do it every 2 weeks. I'll grab a bunch of feeder insects and throw them into there. But it depends on how many you have and how many you want. You can maintain them at very low densities on very little food for months on end. But if you really want to crank out babies, you got to kind of have a constant stream of stuff going in. And at some point, you got to make sure you don't put in too many feeders because they'll stress out the assassins sometimes. I've got kind of the perfect balance going on in a lot of containers right now because there's so many nymphs of varying sizes of the assassins that I can kind of be very liberal with what I put in, fortunately. Shane says, his colorful characters. Hello, Shane. Anybody else? I got Elsie. I'm going to get to your thing in a second here. Anybody else have any questions? Shane, let's see. Shane, I have your chicken eggs. We're up to... Actually, I have to go out and check the coop today to see how many more have been laid, but we're up to 3, and I think that by checking today, we'll be up to 5 or 6. So there's a good chance that a box of chicken eggs, and if there's anything that need to be replaced from your auction order, there's a good chance that those will be going out next week, probably midweek. Tennyson says, my closet is now heated to around 75, 82, depending on how close they go to the space heater. Yeah, ambient temperature, there should be just fine with them. Elsie says, when you are offline, hope you can respond to my email about percent of dead on arrival shipping from auction. I sent 2 days, but I've not heard back. Hoping to resolve this, Mary. Thank you. Elsie, I will get to it as soon as I can, but basically for the rest of today, I am stuck. Well, not stuck. I am gleefully shipping the remainder of auction orders that need to get out this week. And so... I might be able to I might be clearing inboxes completely on Mother's Day night. Depends on what my mom wants to do and some other things. But if not, definitely on Monday because I'll be past all of this shipping stuff and be getting ready for next week's batch of things. So my apologies for not being able to get there. But since you messaged me, your email's in the inbox, so you're covered under my live arrival guarantee policies no matter what. So. Anybody else have any pressing questions or inquiries or discoveries or anything new that has popped up for them this week as we near the end of the shortest stream? I gotta say, guys, the auction was amazing, but I am a creature that thrives on routine, and I am getting quite stressed with the amount of stuff that I have to do at the moment. But I know that by June, I'll be all caught up and everything. And we'll be able to have some nice, relaxed live streams again where I'm not feeling like I have to do a billion things all at once. But it's a very busy time of year is another part of it. I should also mention that next Saturday begins my house hunt. The look for the new property and all that entails, and that's going to be a whole other can of worms. And I'm looking forward to it. Basically, I'm just hoping I can find somewhere that is going to fit the bill as soon as possible. I just and in the right location, right price, right things. Tennyson. No, roaches don't necessarily need light. it can't hurt to have them on a day-night cycle, basically. In my experience, and in the Roach Care Guide, you probably noticed there's that picture of I didn't send this as a draft. Geez, that might explain some things. There's a picture of a colony, my Ailuropida colony. A lot of my Hisser colonies are light acclimated, so they're just out during the daytime all the time. Two of my blue death feigning beetles recently produced some repugnatorial fluid. That's interesting. What caused them to do that? Do you know why the beetle guy or blue death feigners produced a repugnatorial fluid? It's very odd. Also, here's a in-person update here. Oh, Pitish beetles hatched a bunch of larvae. Congratulations. Reminds me, I have a container of Embaphion depressum here. Any luck with Asbolus mexicanus? I haven't checked them, but I have been spraying them, and I don't think any new adults have popped up. But they do have heat. TJ said that the belly heat might be, or heat is probably important for getting them to pupate, but they were forming pupil cells before. So I'm going to just check on. We have Embaphion depressum here. There's a lot of predatory mites going on in there. And do I have larvae from them? You know, we get the show bug comments. This is going to be kind of ridiculous really quick. We'll do a quick show bug here. If the light focus. This is let's see. Get the focus. Yeah. Let's see how this goes. Is it almost there? Almost focused? It's pretty good. This is Embaphion depressum. It's the smallest Embaphion species. I was sent some of these by a lovely contact who was finding lots of stuff out in our favorite sandy, desolate area of California. And we're going to see. I would think that I should have larvae from these. I've got them in a very basic setup. They're just in this cup with some substrate and whatnot. I guess I can check for larvae right now. Very tiny, very cute. Don't really see any larvae. TJ had mentioned that they might be sand loving. It's a pretty sandy substrate, but they might want even more than that. So, also possible it's too moist in here for them, even though this section of it's dry. Somebody have to upgrade their digs and see what can be done. But I'm definitely hoping, obviously, to get them available, figure them out, and get them going to people. So we'll see how that goes. I thought I'd show that off as something. And since somebody brought up Magnificent Animals, brought up Pitish beetles. A lot of people commenting bug. You know, I think maybe next week, if I get all caught up on is next week the special live stream? Yeah, check this out. May 25th. No, not yet. Next week is just going to be a normal live stream. Hopefully it'll be nice and relaxed and whatnot. And I'll probably have some freshly closed beetles to show off because there's a lot of things that are popping up right now. Maybe I'll go on a little beetle rant like I kind of did earlier. That little foot. Yeah, the little foot trying to hold on. I want to collect all the pie dishes. Yeah, same. Hello, good to see you. Good to see you. Excuse me. Oh, Russ from Aquarimax. Russ, this thought crosses my mind occasionally from that one live stream that we did where you brought up where you were going to check in with me years later on the inbred Drosophila line that I have going. And I'm happy to say that they're still going strong. In fact, they're my best. They're my best, strongest producing out of all the fruit fly species and lines that I have. I have Turkish gliders, the standard hide-eye and Bazadi-eye, and the those inbreds have been the best. I think it's because they're hyper adapted to the medium that I feed them. I haven't changed it. So, but yes, next week, the 18th is a standard live stream. The 19th is the special Roach Crossing After Dark 18 plus live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that's the special live stream for the 500 plus subscribers. I'm really hoping I'm going to have a lot of auction orders out by then, so I can really relax and ease into things. But it's going to be the night before starting sort of looking for house stuff. So that's another thing. Blow off some steam. Maeve Samuels asked about me having Protetia jocelynii. Yes, I do have those. I don't have any available, and there won't be any available until summer, probably. I have held back about maybe a dozen or maybe more for myself, and there were some at the auction. I sold a couple before that. I did not get very strong production out of them. I got enough to sell and to hold back a nice breeding group, so I'm content with that. But I have the Speciosa, and then very soon I should have the blue subspecies as well, pure stock of the blue subspecies. So I'll have the rainbow colored ones in the blues. I did have the option to get the reds, but the life stage and pricing was not very appealing to me, so I passed on those. And I'm quite content with the rainbows and the blues, so maybe in the distant future those reds will pop up again. Trying to think any other important things. We are down to we're down to 2 puppies potentially for Victor's girlfriend, and boy, I wonder, anybody know a good website for rapid hosting an image really quick so I can show you guys the 2 puppies that we're sort of between. This is based solely on personality, solely on a laid back, not energetic, etc. Blah blah blah. Orange girl. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's the other one. So I'll show you guys the 2 girls that we're deciding between. And the one of them, I don't know if this is a sign. I try not to read too much into this kind of thing, but the one of them kind of looks like reminds me of my grandma on my mom's side, like the face, the eye color and stuff. Just that's the end the live stream now, Kyle. But we're gonna finish up this thought on the puppy really quick here. So I don't know if this is a sign or not. Drop it in Discord. Thank you, Aquarimax, for commenting on the Drosophila thing. I'll use Imgur. But yeah, it's there's just something. It just I don't know, man. The fact that it reminds me of my grandma just makes me kind of think like maybe that's the dog that I should get. So here's the picture of the one dog. This is the green female. I put it here in the Discord. So say I want to expand to many more roach, but I was giving me a hard time. Exotic wilderness, be tenacious. Sometimes it works. It worked for me. I don't know if that's a compliment to the dog or yeah. So this is not the dog that I linked is not the dog that reminds me of my grandma. This is the other female, and she is very chunky. It's a very chunky girl. The absolute unit of a heckin' pupperino. But I'm gonna upload now. I'm gonna get the 2 pictures of the dog that reminds me of my grandma. Just the look on her face is very human, and it's kind of looks like some of those bad taxidermies that you've seen too. but there's I think this should be for both images. I haven't used Imgur in a long time, but this is the other dog, the other female. So she's got this very, very wise, very human-looking face, and it is a little off-putting, you know, because Victor has a very Victor, even at 2 years old, he just looks like a big puppy. He's just got these big, adorable puppy eyes that he uses to manipulate everybody around him. But like this dog, like it looks like it's seen something. It looks like it's been in a war or something. And so, it's between the two of them, and I got to make a choice very soon on this. So I should probably request a video and see what they can do. See just sort of how they carry themselves and whatnot before making this very important life decision. Yeah, I know it kind of sounds like I've already made up my mind, but again, I'm not exactly sure how into the dog that looks like my deceased grandma I am in this situation. Because the other one, there's some other cute pictures of her, and she's walking around very spunky and so I'm not sure. I gotta ask them. Green collar might be my favorite if I was forced to choose because of her size and personality. They're not black; they're brindles, dark brindles. Yeah, I guess either one of them. So it's going to be an aesthetics choice, and they're both from the same litter. They're both. She is 3 pounds less than the green collar girl, but they're both hefty gals. They're 18 and 21 pounds at 7 weeks old. So yeah, they're both pretty big. And surprisingly, Victor is not a very large gomper. He's only about 93 pounds at 2 years old. He'll probably keep filling out a little bit as he gets older. Up to 3 years, I think the vet maybe even said. But he's definitely not very large. He's also a very healthy weight. Update since last week on morels. No more morels found. I might need to get past the grandma thing. Thank you, Beetle Guy, for knowing that morel of the story. Hello, Michael Hare. So we're at 32 minutes now, guys. And again, I'm dying to just sit down, hang out with everybody, but I got orders to get out. And I know it's shipping later in the week, but again, the weather is wonderful, and I do guarantee everything to arrive within the scope of my live arrival guarantee policies, despite what day I have to ship on this week. So take care, everybody. I will see you next week, which we have double content next week. We've got the regular live stream. We've got the Roach Crossing After Dark on Friday. So we can play some nice catch up then. So take care, everyone. I'll see you all next week. And until then and beyond, may your cultures ever be bountiful. Thank you all for your patience with the auction stuff, guys. I will see you next week.